You can't see. So what?
When it comes to headlights, Honda has seemed to understand that LEDs are the future. They last longer, less power draw, better light output. The only downside is a little bit extra hit in the cost, but because manufacturing has picked up so well on them, it's not even that big a difference anymore. And every time they come out with a new model or do a major update to a model, they always switch them over to LEDs now. It's great. And that's exactly what they were doing with the CRF300L, our new project bike. They basically brought the 450L headlight over and stuck it on the new 300. However, when the bike shipped to America and as well as some of the European countries, we got this. What the f, Honda? I actually had a deposit on it when it looked the other way. I should be even extra mad. You know, I thought to myself, is there anybody I've worked with in the past that makes some good headlights that could perhaps help out? And I remember, it's Baja Designs. Told Baja Designs we needed some better lights, and they sent me over some good stuff that's gonna help us out. We could just put like an LED bulb in this bike, and that would be better than nothing. But I've seen the light.
Are you using puns?
Once you've got to experience some of these Baja lights, you don't want to go away from them. They are awesome. What's this? It's kind of weird. I could give you a whole list of reasons though why we really like the Baja Designs headlights, but I'll just give you the top two. Build quality. You know, I've seen a lot of LED lights. They look very impressive initially, and then you see them a year later, being out in the sun, they're faded, they're loose, rattly, water gets behind them. The Baja ones were literally designed for, oh, I don't know, like the Baja 1000. They're meant to sit on vehicles flying down the desert in the heat of the day, cool night, stuff flying into it, sand, debris. These things are way overbuilt for anything I'm ever gonna throw at them. I just like that I can hit it with a power washer and not worry about it, you know? Very, very well built. Not some light you're gonna have to worry about down the road. Second is the light output. These things are just bright. And it's not just like an overly powerful bright. They got a whole science of light thing. You can go on their website and really look into that, dig into that. The patterns and the lenses and the different things they play with, and they tell you all these different zones. Matt himself, you know, with the other FZ adventure bike, I think they were Ridge brand or whatever, he had the two little square lights on his FZ. Even smaller S1s on mine as fog lights. I'll just say it like this, after that trip, he got rid of his old ones and got some S1s. In fact, he kind of one-upped me. He actually put a bracket on the frame and welded it. He made it much cleaner than my setup is. So. But, you know, hey, Matt's not sponsored. He just bought the product that he thought was best. So, you know, they are literally super kick-ass lights. They look amazing. They work well. So, now, unfortunately, it's not gonna be a complete straight like bolt on. We're gonna have to kind of rig something up ourselves here. But I'm gonna try to make it as simple for you as I can. This whole video is gonna be pretty much the wiring and setting the lights up. We're gonna have to make this into 2 videos. I know it's annoying, but otherwise it'd be way, way too long. We're gonna be building a bracket with my brother, kind of a backing plate that's gonna hold all this light. We've already gone out to and did some nighttime testing, so we'll actually do a good, you know, comparison. We're gonna go from this dinky little thing that's maybe 500 lumens to something that's almost 5,000 lumens of just insanity, but we're gonna have it tamed down. We're gonna actually have it functionality with high, low beam, just like it was stock. Let me grab the table and I'll show you what we got. On the XR, we ran the Squadron Pro, sweet little unit, 4 LEDs, lots of lumens. The FZ, we put an LP9 Pro on there and 2 S1s for like, what, 16 something thousand lumens. If you haven't seen a video where I'm riding that thing at night with those lights, I mean, go check it out. Go check out the video where we got, you know, the very first trip we broke it in on. Anyway, what did we get here? Well, we went somewhere down the middle, kind of. We went with this, the XL Pro. This is basically the same LEDs that were in the Squadron Pro, but in a bigger housing, you know, bigger reflector and lens. So it should be a little bit more pumped up, but the same sort of power draw. I think this is like, what is this, 40 watts or something? Where their stock has got like a 50, 55 watt bulb. So we actually should save a little bit of juice with this thing, especially when we're running in low beam mode, which I'll explain more in a second. But this is going to be great. What else do I got here? Wiring harness. 15, this is a 15 amp. Oh, this is way overkill for our headlights. That's good. You always want to be working in that direction. If you ever see a LED on camera, it looks like it's flickering super fast. It probably is some kind of dimming. Your eyes don't really see that though. It just looks dimmer to you. And so it's literally just turning it on and off super fast. And that's what we have right here. They send out, this is, who makes this? This is like scanning lights or something. I don't know, scanning. But this is going to allow us to dim our headlight so we don't kill other people out there on the road. The other thing that I went and got today, let's pick this up from Napa. What I need is the male end of an H4 plug. Everything while I'm in there messing with stuff, I'm gonna go ahead. I've been looking for a reason to install this. Revzilla's been a great sponsor. So this thing, stupid light, will save a little bit of weight. Lithium battery. You know, it's not like we need this to like power it or anything. Like I said, our LED is actually gonna be pulling less. It just, while I'm gonna be in there and I gotta run a wiring harness to the battery, I thought, let me go ahead and put this on there. What I like about these, look, you have dual sets of terminals. What I did with my Venture bike over here, running an anti-gravity battery just kind of gave me an extra set of posts for a couple accessories. Plus you get all the benefits of super light battery. This has got more cranking amps than my factory battery. They have this cool restart technology on here. Bike, you left something running or there was some kind of weird ghost load and it pulled the charge all the way down, it'll turn itself off, but there's still enough juice in here to give it a couple hits for a start. Super cool. The plastic case that this is in, they could make this even smaller. If you're going for a real custom application and you don't have like a normal battery box, you can get these even smaller, and that's really cool. But I actually like that they do also still make them in kind of the standard size, just because they fit into the slot that they're taking them out of. And most of us out there just want to pop a battery out, pop this one in, and we don't want to sit there and start customizing. If you do want to customize, get the little small baby battery and you can stick and shove it wherever you want. Otherwise, just get the normal battery. There's our stock system. So we got a battery here, see, bzzz, and they're gonna go into a wiring harness, which has got all kinds of fun stuff and goes places. And our stock light bulb has one negative, a positive for low and a positive for high, and life is good. But our new bulb isn't gonna work that way, is it? No. It's just got a positive and negative. If you just wanted to be able to turn this light on and off, you could build some sort of plug where the negative went to negative, obviously, and the positive would go to the high beam. Switch to low beam, the light would be off, high beam, the light would be on. And I could see in some off-road application, or maybe as an auxiliary light, you could have some system like that, but as our primary light, that's no good. We're gonna make a connector, going to take these wires into our little dimmer box, which is magical. Our new wiring harness will have a nice inline fuse. The negative will just go on to here. We'll add a connector in there. The positive will go up into here, and out of it will come a new positive, which will then go into our light. See, it's not complicated at all. Here's the little wiring diagram that they send with this dimmer. I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. Now, if you look at this, you may think, isn't there just a way to wire the whole thing to just plug straight into the H4 plug on the back of the bike? Yes, you can. You have to use a small diode so you can make sure you're sending continuous power to the unit. But even with the diode, there's still a quick blip every time you switch from high to low. And the problem is every time it blips the power, the dimmer kind of goes into a programming thing. When it first fires up, it kind of flashes the light for a few seconds. It's gonna be simpler just to go ahead and run the Baja Designs wiring harness. Plus, if we ever wanted to upgrade this light, if I wanted to stick like the XL80 or something in there and just get silly, it'll literally be able to just unplug one and plug in the other. So we'll do a little quick tear down on the bike. Our wiring harness, we can kind of set this up onto the bike and figure out where we need to make some adjustments. Obviously, there's a lot more in here than we need. Shorting it's never going to be a problem as long as you make sure your connections are very, strong and well made. It would be lengthening it that would be kind of iffy because it's got a 15 amp in it for a reason. I know what you're about to say. Oh, Jake, I'm no good at soldering. I don't want to solder. Bam, no big deal. Check it out. We've been using these things for a while now. These are, what are these things called? I don't know. These are the heat shrink connecting solder things. Everything is in here, and these actually work really, really good. The very first time we ever got these, I soldered two pieces together the traditional way. Then with these, I put them both kind of in the vise and yanked on them, and they're about the same. Yeah, these are actually really, really good. If you get these, you get a heat gun, you can solder. Take these guys, you slip them on. Sorry, my children are in there screaming and playing. I don't know, that's what they do, they're children. And I just twist these wires up, and I'll just slip those up. And you take your old heat gun, start heating. It actually squishes the solder all up into the wires, it glues the ends, seals it all up. After you give it a few seconds to cool off, just try to slip our heat shrink over it. This is the end of our wiring harness. To start with, we'll cut this off, about there. Save that for later, we need this in just a moment. This will actually plug onto the bike where the stock bulb would have plugged into. So this is like some kind of extension thing. We don't need all of this. This is just the easiest way to buy them. But we've got 3 wires on here. We need to figure out exactly what these do. So we're gonna strip these back to start. You're gonna get a multimeter. You don't need an expensive one. And turn it on, put it in DC, 2 decibel range. So bend all 3 wires so they're not touching anything else. Bike is on right now, and we know that the switch is set in low beam. Which 2 wires are getting power right now? This black is probably going to be our negative. Is the red one going to be our low beam? Don't see anything. Let's try the blue one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so blue should be our low beam. Let's switch to high beam and then let's recheck it. Our low beam doesn't show anything now. Let's try the high beam. 12.5 volts or so. Black is negative, blue is low, red is high. So I made me a little chart here. We've got this. We've got things to make happen. And again, I know this looks complicated. Like I said, we're gonna take it one step at a time. Let's start with the lamp itself. And right now, when we see lamp, it shows 2 on our chart, but there's also directions for it if it's just 1. Now we look at the lamp here, it's showing negative going to ground, which means negative just goes to negative. First thing we'll do, just to be simple, is we'll just reconnect this negative here to the negative to our harness. This is the one coming from the battery. I want the power feeding into the lamps, all of it to come off of the harness that we're adding. Now I guess we could have left the black connected. I could have just tried to split this, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. This is our positive off of our lamp. We need to take the orange and white and violet and white and solder them to this. Easy enough. Like I said, we're gonna take this step by step and you'll see this isn't so bad. The other thing we're gonna end up doing throughout this process is shortening up this entire stack. They gave us a lot in here. Solid purple, this one, and the solid orange be right next to it. You know what these go to? They go to the positive right here on our wiring harness. Let's look here at the white wire and the black wire. We need to hook these onto our headlight part. In fact, this is also a good time to mention that one of these is not going to be used at all, which is going to be the low beam. Blue is low. Cut it off about there. Stick a real tight piece of heat shrink over it. Our black on here was negative. And on the black coming off this unit, it wants it to go to ground, aka negative. And it wants the white one to go to our high beam was red. So black to black, white to red. And of all that complication now, you're down to just 2 wires. The yellow wire go to this sort of 3-way switch. If we actually look over here, what this does is going to tell our computer how much brightness we want the light. If we connect it to ground, which would be like a negative, this would give us 10%. If we connect it to nothing, we'll get 20%. If we connect it to 12 volt positive, we can get 50%. So you have like 10, 20, and 50% power, or 100% when we flip to the high beam. Now you can actually get a cool little switch that can do like at least 2 different settings plus 100. That's actually what I had on my XR. Now here's the deal. You can actually program this after the fact, from what I understand. I've never tried doing it, but it goes into a program mode every time. So even doesn't matter what we pick, I think we can go back and change it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this unconnected at 20% because that is what I had on my XR with the same light. Again, a little bit smaller reflector, but 20% was a really good low beam. So for that, we're just going to snip this off here and I'm going to put a little piece of heat shrink over it, fold it over. Our red needs to go to a switched power. It even says on here it's only 0.015 amps. What the red wire is basically the switch. Remember, this is also acting as a relay. In other words, a relay is basically what turns power on and off to something. It's like an electric switch. So we need to hook this up to something on the bike that has continuous 12 volt power when the key is in the switched on position. If it's something that's always hot, then we're gonna have a problem where our light won't turn off. Throw one of these little sort of posi tap things on here. We're gonna use one of these nice ones that gives us an actual connector that can connect and unconnect. You have to sort of crimp this onto the wire. These tools have a thing for it. It's not the best. I think there's actually a better tool if you're doing this all the time. I've got the bit on the installation. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of solder right down in there. Such insane overkill for the very small amount of amperage, but hey, no one can get mad at me and say I did it wrong. There it goes. It's literally, oh yeah, there you go. It's like running out the tip now. Good. Okay, trim off this excess. Hey, it actually looks decent. Well, there you go, kicking and screaming, you've done it. You've made your own wiring harness thing. From here, it's pretty simple. It goes to the battery, goes to the headlight, goes to our stock headlight bolt, and then the last thing we still need to go on the bike and figure out is where we're gonna tap in to our switch positive power. Not so hard, let's go find something. So in all this wiring, we need to find something that's 12 volt positive. It only comes on when the key is switched on. If we look right here, this is actually an accessory plug. This is something I already hooked up in a previous video. I'll link to that. We've got this set up to runs the GPS. It's also powering our running lights for our turn signals. It's kind of a weird way we set that up. It's here, it plugs in, and I know that the black and green stripe wire here is my positive. Now, I don't know what that would be on yours. I actually stole this plug off something else, but you can buy these plugs pre-wired, I think on eBay. I'll try to find a link to one and I'll link it. Let's take our attention over here to the battery real quick. Start by undoing our negative and our positive. It's the order you should do them in. And reverse that when you put them back on. Oh, that is a weighty thing. New battery. Same thickness, same width. Height is different, and that's fine. They give us some foam if we need to. Careful, I'll make a welder. That is significant. Here's the things we gotta think about. We may want to elevate this up. We don't have to go quite as high as it was, but you see there's some cutouts in here for where the terminals can kind of come in. But I'm thinking if we go all the way up to the very, very top, like this, like it was in there, then we can't really access the rear ones. If we leave a little bit of a gap, if we can get away with kind of doing it like this, then we can still run some accessory stuff up here. Like here's some of the foam that it came in. 2 of those stacked up. Oh, what's that like that? One's like that. I can still get to my button. It's not being pushed down or anything. I'm gonna start running this wiring harness down, kind of following, well, the stock wiring harness. Not a problem. There's another accessory too I'm gonna go ahead and add at this point, which is a wire for my heated gear. I've got the hot wired gear you get on Revzilla. I got a whole video on that, you should go check it out. My discount code should work on that brand too, since it's an exclusive brand. I'm gonna kind of have this sort of tucked in right here. This wiring harness, just like our other ones, has its own built-in fuse. I'll just run some zip ties, clean it all up. It's like really nice hardware these come with. And they come with enough so that you can set up both sides. It's like they know people are gonna do that. Pull this thing out a little bit. Oh dang, look at that. These are slightly snug. No big deal. Before we put the door on, it is like 20 degrees out. Let's see. Alright, so we got everything plugged in. I've just got the light sort of, you know, sitting here. I put my glove under it, a motorcycle glove, because these do get kind of warm. I don't think it would get warm enough to like damage the plastic, but you know, hey, you know, let's find out a dumb way. So if I've done this right, there it is, that's 20%. I don't want you to see this necessarily yet. We gotta wait till like the end. Oh, that is bright. Yeah, this works perfectly. There's no delay, goes from one to the other. Hey, I'm not a moron. Well, that's good fun. From here, what we'll do is we will button the bike back together. And the next video will be over at my brother's house, and we'll be building that backing plate to actually mount this thing. Now, there's a longer version of this video. It came out earlier. It's over on Patreon. In fact, the next video is already out on Patreon, the following video. The public video is always released once the next Patreon video comes out, so they're always a video ahead. And it's also an uncensored video. There's no ads on it. Also, if you join our Patreon, you get to hang out with me in Discord. I was just in there chatting with some people for the last 30, 40 minutes. When I say chatting, I mean I actually go in there and talk with people. We have voice chats in there. We got a fun little crew in there, and don't be afraid. Come over there, hang out with us. It's a good time. But you can do that for just $1 a month, and that does support these videos. It makes this whole thing happen. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Baja for setting up with this crazy light. It's gonna look so good. And yeah.